Hi everyone, I'm really glad to be here with such an esteemed panel of founders and looking forward to learn from them today. I want to start the panel with something light with introductions of you all and what was the last thing that made you smile at your workplace. I'll start with Sadiksha.
Hi everyone, I'm Sudiksha. I'm one of the co-founders of Necessera. We call ourselves a transitional clothing brand. We're about 7 years old now. And one thing that made me smile at work recently was we celebrated our 7th birthday on Monday, so that was a really fun celebration. And yeah, looking forward to more years of growth.
Hi everyone, super excited to be here. I'm Riddhi Jain, the co-founder of Necessera as well. We're both sisters, not twins. The last thing that made me smile recently was a customer's message actually. She sent us her journey of how the product got her through her pregnancy, and even though we don't really focus on products for pregnant women in anywhere in our communication, it's just so beautiful how like a product like clothing can change someone's like life journey in such an important phase. So that was really special.
Hey everyone, my name is Lavanya Aneja and I'm the founder and CEO of Leah Clothing Co. So I think the last thing that made me smile was yesterday. We have a big shoot coming up tomorrow. So I was working closely with all of our tailors, and I personally have this habit of always asking everyone's names and always having like if it's 𝐊𝐭𝐫𝐞 or something, and the smile that came on their face just with the simple act of just someone asking their name, that kind of really brought a smile to my face that stayed with me the entire day. So yeah, that's my little anecdote.
Hi, I'm Abhishek, co-founder and CEO of Eggoz. We sell branded eggs that are herbal, no antibiotics, no nonsense, directly fresh from farm to your table or to your retailer of choice. I would say the most recent thing that has brought a smile to me and to our team has been just great traction in our newer markets, which are Mumbai and Hyderabad. And not only just revenue, but also consumer delight that we hear from all of these markets. So yeah, right now these are a few of the things that have made me smile. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Other than this, what you all just said, the last thing that made me smile was we have a sale going on right now at MyMuse, and the highest grossing hours are during midnight. So everyone had slept by 1 p.m. I was up and I just saw the product that was getting us 50% of our revenue just went out of stock from the website. So I started panicking a bit and I started texting on groups and realized that this intern with us was like a 21-year-old kid. She was like, she instantly replied within seconds and just like quickly fixed it, and then was up for the next 30 minutes just figuring out what happened, fixing it, and not letting the highest revenue hours break. So it was just really nice to see how this was something she wasn't expected to do, but just like kind of speaks volumes about the team that we have built and how engaged they are in this. Technology is becoming a very important part of the world of business, even in consumer businesses and in all departments of it. In some shape, form, we end up using it to make processes more efficient or like to save cost or grow revenue. We want to talk about today how technology helps in operations, warehousing, customer experience of businesses, and how can we set it up in a way that it's scalable. So I remember when I was joining MyMuse, the first thing that I was told was that operations is something that if you don't do it right, it can make or break the brand. Like it doesn't get you revenue, but like a lot of things like customer experience and delivering orders and a lot of technical stuff, when it starts getting piling up, it just gets very dangerous, and a lot of brands had to shut down because of that. So setting up technology in a way which is scalable is extremely important. I want to understand from my panel how their operations have changed from when they started versus now, and how do they see scale, like how, which stuff has they seen scale in this journey?
So when we started the brand, it was just a 23-year-old and a 22-year-old doing pretty much everything in the company, from talking to customers to packing orders to just handling everything. Today we're a much bigger team, and technology definitely plays a big role in that. I think what helped us during the process was initially making do with a lot of Excel sheets and a lot of hands-on data analysis, reviews, ensuring you're talking to the customers through whatever different channels. But over time, it's very important to understand the importance of getting technology on board and being okay with paying the price for it. So today we work with a lot of warehouse management softwares. We work with CRM softwares. And we have well-assigned roles for different departments. So that's definitely evolved with time. And technology plays a role in efficiency, which is extremely important as you grow.
So just to add to that, 2 points here. Firstly, during COVID, of course, like our entire, like whatever level of efficiency there was, it had to be like 100x of that, because otherwise we wouldn't have survived. And now with the coming up of quick commerce, I think that is going to especially affect operations a lot, especially with like warehouse management specifically, and the availability of the products. Like whereas like if you had like X amount of inventory, now you're going to have to predict a much wider range of inventory, and this is going to be more pin code focused versus like like city or state specific. So I think the thought process there is going to change a lot, and of course technology is going to be helping with all of these aspects as well.
Yeah, I think when we launched, it was just like a one-man army, and then utilizing whatever little resources you could, just making sure that you keep your costs low first, get a proof of concept. So of course, starting out, I don't think a lot of brands, especially D2C brands, go for a very robust tech stack to solve issues. It's just like, let's get this done. Let's test out our product, our service, what have you, and then grow. So with us in particular, since we weren't building a huge inventory, because I never wanted to sit on dead stock, because that's the killer for most fashion brands. So we were doing the just-in-time manufacturing, but as we blew up and we scaled, as you were rightly saying, it really affects customer experience if your operations aren't built right. So now being live on, say, multiple marketplaces, exploring quick commerce and even retail, I think management softwares for having a track of what is getting you the most orders, most revenue, what's getting you most returns. And then also planning softwares for how to plan your inventory in a much better manner, so that it's not going to be just dead stock that won't move, or it's going to be the kind of styles that you're going to get a lot of returns. So utilizing the right, now for us, resources to one, plan our inventory, and then also track our order fulfillment in a much more efficient manner. That's been the focus. So yeah.
So see, in our case, we are dealing with a perishable food product, where we have to follow certain food safety norms. Plus, the product is fragile. If you drop this product from 1 inch, it will break and go to waste. So it's very crucial that the entire supply chain, demand-supply planning is very accurate. And this is where technology plays a big role in Eggoz and has been our core part of building our startup from day one. So in the initial days, we completed development of warehouse management, order management, fulfillment, etc. Today, what we are working on and have been utilizing technologies is how can we smart with our data? How can I predict demand for the next day, for the next week, so that my procurement can be matched on a just-in-time basis, which means that I will have less unsold inventory, less inventory days at my end, and hence better freshness for consumers and better quality for consumers. This also helps us in giving better income to our farmer partners also, because if I can procure right, I can pay them well, and since there is less wastages at my end, I can also make a meaningful bottom line to continue surviving. So that's the core part of it. Now it has shifted towards more of predictive analytics, be it the next day demand, next day commodity prices, next day route planning, using a lot of technology to do it.
Thank you, guys. I want, like, since all of you mentioned your journey from start to now, I also wanted to understand how do you manage operations between something that you have to give to third party, something that you do in-house, and what does tech handle at this current stage of your brand?
So I think this is like a constant, like ever-changing thing because there's also like, luckily in a way that there's so much new tech coming up every day, where every day like there's, whether it's your website, the conversation with the customer or any aspect of the business, there's something or the other new coming up. So now like, you know, with something like SEO as well, we're working with an AI SEO agency and they've literally changed the whole like thing around the conversation there and the results, like which we never could even imagine. So, I mean, I think it's just a matter of like what works really well for the product because everyone doesn't do the same thing for everyone. So I think that way we have like a strong vetting process where a lot of the technology is outsourced currently and we're doing more of the management and the thought process thinking by ourselves because we feel that's our strong point. But eventually we do want to bring in a lot of the tech in-house as well.
So I think for us, since we're a more premium brand with a premium price point, especially when I talk about our ethnic wear label, that cannot be like, you know, you have a lot of inventory ready for like an embroidered sari or kurta set. But there are periods where the demand is off the charts. And that's going to be true for your website and also marketplaces. So initially in our experience, when I had, say, one team managing fulfillment and ops for, say, our D2C website and marketplaces, we saw a lot of inefficiencies coming through. A lot of delays happening, a lot of just, you know, a lot more of a possibility of things like slipping through the cracks. So say if we're online with Panelists and Aza, you can't initially anticipate what the response is going to be there or how you're going to grow. And for us, we grew pretty quickly on those platforms thanks to like the international clientele, etc. So we had to kind of bifurcate the team. And we did that like on a like macro scale for all of our marketplaces, like have a separate manager for fulfillment and you know, responding to our customer service team for my D2C platform, and then also one for marketplace. And that's something that really, really helped us iron out a lot of inefficiencies. So a lot of those tag delays or just lapses in really great customer service that we're looking to deliver, especially considering anything above a 5,000 price point, an Indian customer expects the best and nothing less. So it really helped us to kind of isolate the inefficiencies and kind of get a much better process going. And then we also were able to tell which categories, which products, which kind of like, you know, styles were performing better and do our marketing accordingly as well. So I think for us, the bifurcation of those channels was really essential to be able to scale in a sustainable manner. Yeah.
So see, in our case, at the core, we are very, you can say very focused on supply chain metrics, and a large part of our supply chain has also started to shift towards third party, which means that the product that we have built for the entire chain has to be adopted well in all these centers. Now, speaking of choosing, ourselves or third party, bulk of our technology we built ourselves over the past few years. So majority of the, day-to-day operations, predictive, etc. We build it ourselves from scratch. Few of the areas where you can say a SaaS company can do better, like availability metrics on, say, quick commerce, or say HR management or procurement management. We use some third parties, but the rest is completely built in-house, completely on our own stack, on our own cloud servers. But what is critical at our end is that how can we get third party to adopt our product so that they can use it well? How can we make them use our platform on a daily basis so that the platform improves to a state where it is largely scalable, which is the core theme for this year for us, where we can create a scalable technology where, from next year onwards, we can start replicating it by 10x, 15x in the next 2 to 3 years, and not worry about product adoption, product traceability, QC, and all of these factors. Thanks.
Yeah, I think like all of you said, it's ever changing and depends a lot on uh, the industry as well. For us, like because it's a very sensitive industry, we tried to keep everything in-house till now, but started seeing traction on quick commerce and stuff and demand for 3-hour delivery and all. So that is when we started going for platforms that help D2C brands enable 3-hour deliveries. We keep, wherever we have to talk to customers, we try to keep that in-house. So it's only our employees that are handling it and are taking care of that because customers are not that comfortable in, having their information going to anyone else. Since we talked about channels and how for all D2C brands, like a lot of different marketplaces options are becoming available, especially with now quick commerce coming in. But other than that, also, we always had Amazon, Myntra and stuff. That, like, especially in our case, that just makes operations a lot more complex because one part is where you're sending the orders to customers and the second part is B2B, which is also constantly going, and you have to manage the right amount of inventory in their warehouses so that the cache is optimized and they don't end up returning the stock that is not sold. So it just makes things a lot more complex. Wanted to understand with you guys, how do you manage operations in this world of e-commerce, D2C, and all the channels that operate very differently?
I mean, this is a lesson I learned just when we started, and someone told me this. A building needs to have a strong, solid base for it to last longer. So you can build it high, but if you build it fast, it might fall. But if you build a strong base, it'll stay taller for longer. So why I say that is because operations and where you keep your stock, perishable, non-perishable, all of those things, they are a result of a lot of data and a lot of kind of understanding what's working, what's not working, where to sell, how to sell, etc. So I think the first few years we spent a lot of time just doing a lot of surveys, understanding the market, understanding what works, what doesn't work. That's always a work in progress, but I think it's important to spend time doing that. Once we got that out of the way, I think right now our challenge is figuring out quick commerce, but at least for our platform and marketplaces, it's about understanding the product fit, like where you're selling what, and we do our own manufacturing, so that helps us maintain inventory to a certain level where we know that once the product has sold, only then do we figure out, when to bring it in. And ours is a non-perishable, so it's a little easier there, but at the same time, in clothing, dead stock is a very big issue. So just kind of redirecting unsold products in one pin code to another pin code. Yeah.
Other thing that we've actually worked on is keeping inventory not in the final stage, because timelines are equally important and no one wants their order like after 5 days, like everyone wants it within that span of time. So what we do is we keep our inventory at different stages, like it's ready at different stages, and based on the demand that we see across channels, we sort of just turn it into the final product. So that's worked out really well for us. And when you talk about the divide between e-commerce platforms and like our own website or like retail spaces, like our constant focus has been to grow the brand on our platform because we really care about that customer connect that we have, and we feel like we sort of lose that. But having said that, the balance between availability and that customer connect is really important. So I think that's like a constant thing that we're working on, but like that inventory balancing thing has really helped us so far.
Yeah, I think it might be a universal experience, especially when we're working with marketplaces. It's always get the best service to the customer, but always at the cost of the brands, right? It's just we want to make sure our customer is happy, and we have to do everything from our end to ensure that. So for us, similar to what you guys are also saying, the priority is always to scale your own channel because there aren't hefty commissions that you're applying there. But with marketplaces, I think we like to test it out and see. So for me, I always believe in like design thinking. So it's just like, the lowest risk or the lowest effort and what has the most potential highest reward, right? So rather than, say, figuring out the quick commerce piece or retail for that matter is a lot tougher than working with a marketplace like a Nykaa Fashion or a Myntra, where it's just the standard kind of fulfillment. You can determine the TAT, the kind of policies that you need to have. So I think first we test out the waters, get a use case, and test out multiple hypotheses that we may have with regards to what will work, what won't work on multiple channels. But now, as we've entered, say, retail with a store like Broadway or are exploring quick commerce, there are a lot of learnings that what applies online is never actually just not true for offline. Like for clothing, breadth is just essential for growth online. Have the largest number of SKUs, refresh them, and like always be in trend. In retail, what we've come to find out is the depth is more important. People want simpler pieces that they can try, get their exact size, and move on. And for us, having like a very size-inclusive range, which is every style in extra small all the way up to 5XL, that's something very pertinent to kind of manage well when we move from just-in-time to like ready-to-ship kind of a model. So for us, it's testing out multiple hypotheses and seeing, is the payoff going to be worth the investment that we need to make? And once we have that use case, then we start building on the channels that are going to be the most profitable for us. So that's how we're managing this delicate little dance.
In our case, be it any retailer, our firm belief is that secondary offtake is the ultimate truth. And say primary billing or the revenue that say a company can recognize with a retailer like say quick commerce or e-commerce or say distributor is just number. If there is no secondary offtake, there is no consumer purchases which are happening. So we are always tracking that. It's very important because in our case, again, it's a limited shelf life product. If it is not selling in 1 week or 1.5 weeks, there is a risk it may come back to us, which may lead to wastages. There is a risk that the consumer can buy a 10-day-old egg or say a 8-day-old egg, and the experience may not be as great because it's not as fresh. So secondary offtake is what we track very, very clearly, be it through quick commerce or be it roughly 4,000 GT counters that we sell through. Or through distributors or wholesalers where we are selling through. It is the ultimate baseline truth that we'd like to follow. And the rest of the tech stack development, tracking on a day-to-day basis, analytics is built around this base truth. So, that's what we're doing about channels.
Customer experience is a very crucial part of any brand, any consumer's brand especially. So I just wanted to understand when it comes to customer service, a lot of chatbots and a lot of development has happened in that area, and obviously the brands are focusing a lot on profitability and cost centers also now. So how do you manage that part of human touch with your customers, giving them a good experience and keeping the cost optimized as well?
So, I mean, I'm sure all of us on the panel have like sort of tested out the AI chatbot like across channels, because everyone needs a reply. Like when you message someone for a product, like customers need a reply instantly. But I think we're yet to still master that concept of how like customers would still feel the connect while talking to a robot. Eventually, all of the conversations are closed with the actual customer service human agent and not the bot. So I think there's like, at least for us, there's like a long way to go, because there's a lot of conversation which customers have before purchasing a product, unless they're just shopping online. Like there's like customizations that they want to do, or just a lot of questions that they want answered. So I think if someone is messaging you, they don't just want to know the price and get done with it. They want to have a longer chat than that. So I think it's still a tricky thing, which currently for us, humans are still solving that problem for us. Even though the chatbot is there, it like probably takes up like 5% of the conversation so far.
I think just adding to that, being a D2C brand, which is purely online, it's so important to have a human being behind that message, because that's your touch point with your customer. That's the messaging you're giving, and also the feeling and emotion that you're giving to your customer through your brand. And it's a game changer, honestly, because then the customer feels heard, the customer feels like they're taken care of. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, reiterating the earlier point, with a higher price point, with a premium product, especially considering that we're people's go-to for their occasion wear. So if people are shopping from us, it's going to be for their birthdays, for their wedding functions, or like their bridesmaid stuff, or pre-wedding shoots. So those people are so particular about what they want, and building trust factor there to have people trust you with like their special occasions, dressing you for that. It's like not having humans behind the face of the brand. For us, it's not even imaginable. So I see technology as a secondary tool that we utilize to kind of induce efficiency into the process. So one, of course, the AI chatbots. We've worked on developing like this kind of a style quiz. So we collated a lot of the most frequently asked questions, which are mostly according to the fit and size, and then also what would you recommend for my shape, or like what would you say? Can you share like examples of what I can try out? So we curated a online like a style quiz that people take, and we made it quite fun and interactive. And not only did it help like reduce the kind of those very similar queries that we used to get to our agents, but it also gave us a lot of data points to work on. Like what are the kind of body shapes and what kind of sizes are people looking for? What are the kind of color palettes or prints or embroideries that they're looking at? So it's so essential to bring in efficiency into the process. But as a premium brand, you have to have people there. Because like you said, for us, it's like, oh, can we change the neckline, add sleeves, add some more embroidery, or just increase the length? So it's not possible to completely standardize that process, but it is definitely possible to reduce the number of steps that are in there to introduce efficiency. So a blend of the two is what works best for us.
Same here, we do have chatbots to filter the queries that we're getting. But I think the best way for consumer success is human touch, be it human chatting, or the best work is just pick up the phone and call the consumer, speak with them, and resolve any complaint or query or whatever. But speak with the consumer directly, because it just provides a human touch for that interaction and also leaves a lasting impression in the person's mind.
Thank you, guys. I think for us as well, it's a mix. We like to keep the human element there also, because this is the team that has the most insights on the customers then, and whenever we have to launch a new product, make changes on the website, or packaging decisions, and anything has to happen, we get in touch with that team. And get their insights on how customers are feeling, if they have heard anything from the customers about that. It has always been super helpful. Other than that, we also keep a budget for that team to give out to customers. Like if someone is angry, this is the discount coupon, or like if someone is angry with the chatbot, because that is what they are angry at most of the time. So we keep a budget that these are the things that you have to send out in a month, and like their OKR generally is like you have to spend this much money in just making people happy. Okay. So just coming to the last question, and then we can open it up to the audience. What is one thing that you'll take away from this panel's discussion and implement in your brand?
Please, go ahead, ladies first.
It's okay, I'll go. I think not even just during the panel, even before when we were having conversations, it's so insightful, especially when founders are talking is in similar industries or having similar experiences, whether that's with marketplaces, quick commerce, or just run-of-the-mill issues that little fires that you're putting out every day. One really interesting point that I'll take back is in our conversation was just how you guys are also testing out different pin codes and how you're moving stock from one pin code to the other to test out how it works in a different market. I don't think we've done that as extensively, so I think that's definitely something that I personally would be excited to test out. Yeah.
Yeah, so sure. So for me, I think a common, an important takeaway is consumer obsessions that every D2C brand is keeping, be it premium or other kind of products. So I think for me is how can we use technology more for consumer engagement, to be more contextualized and to be meaningful for the end person who is communicating with us. So that would be my take.
I think mine's going to be working hand in hand with tech companies, as you mentioned. You do that, like, your team working with tech agencies or like third parties just to kind of develop your skills as well as work on the product that you're trying to incorporate into your operations.
I think everyone's already highlighted all the important points, but maybe I'll just say something that I came across in one of the previous panels. It was very interesting and could apply to most companies, I guess. That the way, like, so most of us, like, when we talk about like a product, then it's always like fixed. Okay, these are like the 5 products or the 500 products based on like the company. But what he mentioned was that they do customizations and they don't treat it as a customization because it's often like a thing which is kind of like looked down upon based on like the stage of the company, but like that they treat as experiments, and that's what we do as well. And I think that has really helped us in introducing new product categories, and no matter what the scale of the company is, like that's really something which is literally the quickest and the easiest way to get customer insight. And I think if that can be combined with technology to like understand products and like work on the demand side more than like what we want to give to the customers, I think that could be like a really cool process coming together.
Amazing. I'll just take back all of these things they just said. We can open it up for the questions now if anyone has any questions. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Vicky. I run a personalization AI startup. I think most of you guys, when you all are building a brand from, say, I think you guys started about 7 years back. You guys have been running it for a while, right? And do you all take inspiration from any of the global brands and try to fit it in directly, and have seen some work and some not work because India as a market reacts differently? So if you all can throw in some light on that.
So I think Necessera started with wanting to do exactly what they are not doing. We wanted to fill the gap. I think if you take inspiration from international brands, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot to learn from them. But India is a very different market. It is evolving. I'll give you a very small example. So someone told me in America, it's very easy to market a Lululemon jeggings. Why is that? Because everyone is wearing it as the yoga pant. There we go. But in India, this same pair of pants can be sold in 50 different ways because every single person will be using that same pair of pants for something completely different. So experiment, and like you try 50 things, you'll get 10 right. And yeah.
I mean, for us, since we started out being more of an aspiration brand, it was the whole reason for it was because I wasn't able to find any other, say, more boutique brands that were working in occasion wear that weren't your run-of-the-mill Zara and H&M. And that's like stands true today, where people do want more of a unique sense of style. So you're not just trying to, I think, recreate what's there abroad. For a lot of brands that does work, but what we've seen work is like, I have my design team scour social media, Pinterest, and a lot of like, what are the it girls, quote unquote, wearing, or what are the kind of trends and the styles that we can see even in, say, from fashion influencers, etc. That's going to be at least a couple seasons ahead. So it has to be, the inspiration also has to be tailored to the Indian audience. So I can't have a fancy dress with like an 11-inch neck drop or with the same kind of silhouette that would look really great on a European body, because we have a completely different body type. So that same dress that's going to look like great on a 5'10" white woman is going to look really odd and awkward on like a 5'4" Indian woman, because we have a completely different body. So for us, it was one, understanding that, one, the size chart that is just used by every brand that is tailor-made for the European body doesn't work here. And also understanding the silhouette has to be tailored. Even if you're taking inspiration on certain elements, it can't be a cut, copy, paste, because that will just not work. It won't translate the same way. So I feel like, again, it's a blend. Get the inspiration, but know who you're designing for and the kind of issues that they're currently facing with the options that they have. And that is, in my opinion, the winning formula of success for a great product market fit.
Or you can speak out, we can hear you probably.
Yeah, I feel.
So this is actually a very, very long answer. I guess like for us, like entrepreneurship was always inbuilt ever since we were kids, like as long as I can remember. And we started Necessera soon after graduating college. So it was a pretty quick process, and we just took, like, I guess we took the leap of faith in ourselves that we just really wanted to get into it really fast and just do everything we can in the moment. So we just ended up doing a lot of things ourselves, which I guess a lot of entrepreneurs do. So I think it was, yeah, the best decision that we made.
For me, see, life is very short. You live only once. When I came to that realization, I thought, there are many problems to solve. So why not solve them and build a business and do something where, you are waking up with some motivation every morning. So that came during my undergrad days, and I've been building companies since then.
Hi, my name is Tosef. I have a question for you. I'm running a startup. It's basically we are bringing beauty soap from Syria. So it's very this is considered the first bar soap made by humans, used by Queen Cleopatra from Egypt. Very legendary. The result has been phenomenal, the response. But I'm kind of lost. I don't know where to cater, how to cater. So can one of you can mentor me? That product and my startup has been in news in Spain, in Dubai also, because I'm the only one who went to Syria alone. I'm living there for more than a year. But as I need mentorship, so someone can guide me, someone. The product is incredible. We are sitting on a holy grail. We don't know how to make it, because we gave samples to 100 people. Everybody said this is incredible, magical, because in just 4 days, it gives result. You look younger. All the problems get solved. That is why it's considered mother of all soap, and only few families make it there. So that is why I was in the news back to back. But I don't know how to really market it or so. So I need something from you guys.
Even we're all still learning.
Yeah, but you have.
No, but of course.
Since I come from Bihar, so we don't have much, exposure, and I'm more novice in that. So I really need mentorship. Somebody, there's no pressure.
One, there are a lot of even founder groups. We were literally talking about that before coming into this panel, where there are a lot of founders who are sharing information and really keen on helping each other out. We're part of a few, would be happy to, suggest the ones that would be very beneficial for you. But mostly, I would say, utilizing whichever channel that you have, whether that's through social media, through LinkedIn, even through just your friends and family, sending out WhatsApps and all, just saying, can you just give me some feedback, some insight? So I think it can be very useful to, one, gather that data and then figure out the USP of your product and how that translates the best and really drives the point home to your customers, so making that connect.
You can connect me to the right person for mentorship. That's all I need.
Sure, there are a lot of groups. We'd be happy to share the names of a few.
Okay,
of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think in addition to that, you can also refer to a lot of, there are a lot of online case studies and stuff, how different brands did marketing and what made them win. I think for us, that has really helped, just seeing what works for other brands and replicating it. You might have to do certain tweaks, but some of these, it'll just take away that risk if you try out random ideas.
Also, sorry, just an additional perspective here, I'm guessing yours is a single product. I'm not really sure what you guys sell, but it's always even as a clothing brand, we're just constantly thinking about what the customer wants and being dynamic with your product offering. So I guess that's something that you can probably ask yourself, like, I have no idea, like, what the market fit and everything is, but, like, yeah, that's a question we ask ourselves very often in order to stay relevant. So maybe that's something that could, like, you could think about as well.
Hi, I think a lot of insights we got from you. Just one question I had from each one of you, like which tool you are using for inventory management and for marketplace reconciliation.
We use 𝐕𝐵 for inventory management and marketplace reconciliation. Till now, we have been doing manually because it's B2B orders mostly, so the number of orders are not that big. I think for quick commerce insights, we have started using this tool Nova, which has been super helpful in terms of tracking inventory and other things.
We're working with eCommerce for warehouse management, and for ERP system, we've developed our own for managing our inventory.
Yeah, I think we are also working currently with eCommerce, but also looking at other options because, of course, we're on multiple marketplaces, so to have everything in one place is really, really important. And for inventory, we utilized a really extensive data dashboard that we built. So we're currently doing that in-house, but we're also in talks with a couple vendors who have reached out in some easy replenish, etc., to help with inventory demand planning. So yeah, currently in-house on that, but we will be partnering with one of them soon.
See, for us, we also use Nova for secondary availability. REST warehouse management, inventory management, it's our own inventory management system.
Okay, I think thanks a lot for being on the panel, guys. I just learned a lot from you all today, and thanks for being here, all of you. Thank you.